I want to welcome everyone out to our new parent orientation. Welcome. Yes, good evening to everyone. We're excited to have you here. We are going to just briefly introduce ourselves, and then I have a little update for you. Anders Lewis is going to talk to you a little bit about mission and core values. And then Mike and Amanda, our principal and vice principal, will be speaking with you and answering all those questions that we've collected ahead of time. And so I will start just by saying my name is Ellen Lindsay, and I'm the executive director of the Advanced Math and Science Academy Charter School. I feel very honored to have this role. This is my, I guess I've been in this role for about 2.5 years now. Prior to that, I was the principal for 2 years. I was also the vice principal. But when I started at AMSA, I actually started as a school counselor. So if I sound like a school counselor to you, that is why. That's my background. I love our kids and our school and our school community. I'm thrilled to be here with you tonight to start this new year. And I will have some more updates for you in a minute. And I will introduce to you our Assistant Executive Director, Anders Lewis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Anders Lewis. I am, as Ellen just said, I'm the Assistant Executive Director. I'm also the head of the History Department, and I'm also a history teacher. I've been at AMSA for a long time. I've been there since the doors opened in 2005. Looking forward to working with all of you and having all of your wonderful kids come to our school. And I will be speaking in a little bit more in a few minutes. Next up, I guess, is the great Mike Naraki, principal.
Thanks, Anders. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. We're very excited to get this school year going. I know that we received many questions. August 30th, as you all know, new student orientation is coming up. We're going to go into that. We received, I'd say, probably around 35 questions total leading up to this forum. So we'll take good care of you, I believe, tonight. We put together some slides. Just a little bit about me. I've been at AMSA now I'm going into my 12th school year here. I started as a special education teacher way back in 2009, 2010 school year. I soon became dean of students, and that lasted for a while. Then I was vice principal, and I've been principal since March of 2019. I love the school, love the community. I love everything that we have to offer. I'm a Marlboro person through and through. I grew up in Marlboro, was raised in Marlboro, went through the school systems in Marlboro here. I used to live in Clinton back in the day. I'm very familiar with our core towns, Hudson and Maynard as well. So, just really, I think that helps develop connections with the students, and really looking forward to meeting all the students out there. If any of them are listening with their parents tonight, welcome. And I'll kick it over to Miss Amanda Sensi, our new vice principal. I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll get going.
Thanks, Mike. Welcome, everybody. My name is Amanda Sensi. I just realized my last name is not on my Zoom account, so I'll have to fix that. So it's Sensi, C-E-N-C-E. I'm the new vice principal. So it's obviously my first year here at AMSA. I'm super excited. Thank you, Mike. Super excited to get the school year going. I have spent the last 13 years in education as a high school and middle school math teacher. And so I am excited to bring that knowledge from the math world over to AMSA and get the school year going. So really excited to meet everybody.
Okay, thank you. I will share my screen now. Ellen will kick things off, but Ellen, just bear with me as I hope this works.
There we go. All right. So welcome to our family forum, our new parent forum. We run family forums every couple months. We have learned a lot of things from the COVID experience. One of them is that these online forums, we're up to 72. They've worked for us. And when we usually hold a parent night or parent forum, sometimes we only have 20 to 30 folks. But our numbers are really high with these online versions. So we hope you like this and hope to continue it, and we'll mix it up a little bit. Mike, you want to throw my first slide up there?
Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, that went through, correct? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Super. So, once again, just welcome you all. to the new school year. We welcome you to AMSA. We really pride ourselves on the fact that we're a community. We want your children to feel at home and feel relaxed so that they can learn to the best of their ability when they're at the school. And we want you to feel as well that you're part of our community. It's very, very important to us. You'll hear Dr. Lewis talk about that it's one of our core values is community. And so we work hard to create good communication between the school and our parents and our students, and to develop relationships of trust and respect. And that's something that we talk about all the time at the school with our staff, is the importance of that. Bumps and things are going to come up while your kids are at our school for 7 years, and things happen. And I think that the most important part about a relationship between a school and parents is that we work together, right? We're a team to help your children to develop into great adults that are contributing to our society, and that they'll find great success in their life. So welcome to our community. We're so happy to have you here. So I want to give you a couple updates of things that are happening kind of in my world as the executive director. You'll see that I focus more on the business side of the school, and you'll hear Dr. Lewis in a minute, and he'll talk to you more about the mission and the school and the academics. And because we have a couple really big projects coming up over the next couple years. For those of you who are new to our community, I want to give you a little bit of background and history on our buildings, our campus. Some of you may be returning parents, and some of this information may be new to you or not, but just to catch everyone up. So if you've been on our campus on Forest Street, you'll notice that we have 3 buildings. There's the 165 building that we call the white building because it happens to be white in color. And then you'll when you drive up into the entrance by Four Kicks, you'll drive up between 2 brick buildings. Initially, you'll go through between the white building and the lower school building, which is where your students will be in grades 6 and 7. And then you drive up, and then you find yourself between 2 big brick buildings. So the campus is 3 buildings. And currently, and we've expanded into those 3 buildings over the years that the school has been open. It originally started in that lower school building where your children will be, and then it expanded across the street, and then we expanded over into 1 floor of the white building. So all 3 buildings, when we first came in and moved into the buildings, were owned by a landlord, and we have a lease on those buildings. 3.5 years ago, we purchased the white building. It went up for sale, and we purchased it. And so we currently own that building. The bottom floor of that building, we rent out to the Smock Daycare Center. You may see the daycare toys and things out there, but they are in there. They're long-term tenants of ours. And then the first floor of that 165 building is built out with 10 classrooms. We also have a receptionist there too, and we have 15 to 20 teachers that are in that building at all times. And then there's a 3rd and 4th floor to that building, and those are gutted. Those 2 floors are not usable. They're not connected to anything, and they've been empty for years. Then we have the other 2 brick buildings. We currently don't own those buildings, but we've been in negotiations with the landlord since last December or so. And we have signed a purchase and sales agreement on those 2 buildings and plan to pass papers somewhere early October, give or take a few days here or there. But we are on target. We have a team of folks that are working on that. We have gone through quite a bit of the process so far as we have a commitment. We'll be working with Boston Private. We've locked in our interest rate. We're putting the paperwork together now to pass papers. And once that is done, we will head into our design phase. I'm in the process right now of reviewing applications to hire our designer and architect. And then we will go into the design phase this winter. Then the plan is we have to do permitting through the state, and then actually break ground probably May or June of 2022. The project will take about 18 full months to complete. And what we will be doing is we'll be changing the whole traffic pattern to the whole campus. So instead of entering where you enter around Four Kicks, between Four Kicks and the school, they'll actually enter around the white building. We'll be adding, so you'll take a big circle behind the upper school building and then come out through there. No longer will cars and trucks be going between the buildings, which is going to be much safer for our students. The 6th and 7th graders never leave the lower school building. They're not passing between buildings, but our older students do pass between buildings. We want to close up that area and make it have more of a campus feel. Then we will also be completing the 3rd and the 4th floor of the white building. And we will be adding in there anywhere from 10 to 20 new classrooms at least, and some office space in that building. So that's going to really expand. We will not be expanding the number of students we have because our charter says we can have 966 students, but it's going to give us a lot more space to spread out. Our schedule is packed with classes, and we need more flexibility. So it's very important we get the 3rd and 4th floors done. From there, then, we're building a gymnasium. So it's going to be a 14,000 square foot gymnasium. We're very excited about it. We've never had our own gym. We will still use Four Kicks. We're going to still be renting their fields in the afternoon for sports and things, but primarily our daytime classes, gym classes, and will be held in the new gym. It will also give us meeting facilities and places to have like our National Honor Society induction and things like that. So very, very excited about that. I'm not exactly sure where that's going to be on the campus yet, but that's the other part. And then there's a lot of systems work that we need to do, some HVACs and some other type work that's going to be included in the project too. Total expense on the project is going to be about $29 million, which leads me to my next topic there, where it says capital campaign. So we've also contracted with a capital campaign consultant. And she will be working with me as we continue to look for ways to raise money. Now, we're financing through Boston Private. We don't have to have the bulk of the money in order to do the project. We're not trying to raise money for that. We're trying to raise money for the extra things that we want, the extra special labs, science labs, the nicer floor in the gymnasium, the flowing, seating for the students in the gymnasium. Those extra things that we want to add that's going to improve even more our the academics that we're able to offer our students. So we're very excited about that. And I am looking for committed fundraising individuals. If you think you're someone who might want to work on a committee of volunteers to help us raise money for our building project over the next 2 years, please email me. I'm looking to put a committee of volunteers together that's going to help us raise quite a bit of money over the next 2 years as we look to our community for donations. We have many corporate relationships with Boston Scientific, Synovian, Quest Diagnostics, and the like. We need volunteers to help us to make our dreams come true for our campus. So if you're interested in helping, we hope that you'll jump on board. It's going to be an exciting time for us. So that's all I'm going to add for now. I'm going to turn the time over to Anders, but if there's any questions that you have about any of the projects that we have forthcoming, one last word on that. Sometimes folks say, why are we buying the campus that we're on? Why haven't we looked at other buildings? And I just want to clarify that we've looked at many other buildings. I've worked myself in the last 4 years on bid plans for 4 other buildings in Marlborough. So this is not, it's not a situation where, we haven't tried to find other places, but to purchase a building and to gut the whole thing and to rebuild it all to fit out for a school is extremely expensive. And we don't get funded the way a regular district school does. So we're very happy. AMSA is our home. That campus is our home from day one. And we're going to make it a fabulous place for your kids. So let me know if there's anything I can do to answer questions for you. Anders?
Awesome. Thank you, Ms. Lindsay. It was terrific. And welcome to everybody who is here, all the parents, and I've seen in some of the windows a couple of our new incoming students. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for choosing our school. We are a charter school. We are a school of choice. You chose our school. We sincerely appreciate that, and we hope to fulfill all the promises and aspirations that you have at our school. We all look forward to working with you, meeting you, working with your students, teaching your students. Each and every day we will try, Ellen and I will try to be outside, waving and saying hello to everybody. So if you see us, say hello, wave, honk the horn. Your kids can come and give us high fives. We love that. Just as an aside, I've been at AMSA since 2005. I'm also a resident New York sports fan. So if any of your kids and students, if you're out there right now, if any of you like any New York sports team, anytime they win, if the Yankees win, the Jets win, the Mets win, the Giants win, come over, say hi, Dr. Lewis, give me a high five. That would be absolutely awesome. I always have to put that in. So I just wanted to spend a minute and talk to you about two things that are really important to AMSA and to what we do each and every day. The first thing, as you can see there, is our mission. What is our driving mission? What are our aspirations? What do we hope to achieve at AMSA? And as you can see there, we have a mission that is full of high expectations. We believe, all of us believe, that all students, every single student of all backgrounds and all abilities can excel in all subjects. That is a vision that attracted me to AMSA, and I hope, and I'm sure it attracts you to AMSA as well. It is a vision premised upon a set of high expectations for us as teachers, high expectations for us as administrators. The belief that we will do whatever it takes to help you and to help your students succeed and excel in all subjects, so that many years from now, when they head off into college and go off to universities and to the workplace, they will have the knowledge, the tools, the skills that will help them be successful. So that's our mission. And then related to our mission are our core values, things that help guide us on our journey towards our core values. And there are three essential core values that we have. The first one, as you can see, is integrity. Ellen, all of us, Mike and Amanda, we take that very, very seriously. And it's a value that is important to us, that we want to emphasize with our entire staff and with our students. And it means being honest with one's work, being honest with each other, not plagiarizing or cheating if you're a student, being honest in the classroom, setting good examples. So integrity is a really core value. It's so important, we believe, that in many ways it kind of lies beneath or supports the other values, because without integrity, without honesty, truthfulness, it's really hard to accomplish much of anything else. So integrity is a really important value. Excellence, also a really important value. That has a couple meanings. One meaning to excellence is hard work. We are a school of high expectations. We're a school that believes all students can excel. That takes a lot of hard work to get to that place, right? It takes hard work from me, Ellen, Mike, Amanda. It takes hard work from all of our teachers. And it takes hard work from students, too. We all have to strive, achieve, believe, know that we can achieve. But with that hard work, we can achieve excellence. We can excel. We can be prepared for the modern world. Another good part or important part of excellence is it's not only about hard work, but it's about embracing the joy of learning, turning the switch on in all of us and in our students, and appreciating English class and history class and science class and math class, not so much for the grade. Grades are important. I don't want to deny that. But because of the beauty and wonder of poetry, the joy of mathematics, the pleasures of learning about history, all of that is really important to all of us. And we hope, and I'm sure it is important to you and to your students as well. So integrity, excellence, and then last but not least, community, also another really important value. Ellen mentioned that as well. And it's right there in our mission statement, right? All students of all backgrounds and all abilities. We want every single student, and this is so important to us, to feel a sense of belonging, to feel that somewhere at AMSA they have a champion. They have someone who's going to stand up for them each and every day. If students know that, they will work hard. If students know that, they will feel respected. If students know that, they will feel that AMSA is their home. And we want you and we want our students to feel that. So if we add all of these core values up, integrity, excellence, and community, we can achieve our mission. I have no doubt about that. So thank you all for coming. Please reach out to us anytime. Wave to us if you see us. And kids, if you're out there, come give us a high five. I'd love to talk to you. And with that said, I'm going to give it up to Mike and Amanda.
I think I'm up, right, Mike? Awesome. So we took all of your questions that were submitted into the Google form and really organized that into themes. So we got about maybe 30-ish questions over the last couple of days. And so one of the themes that kept coming up was the orientation, which we're hosting on Monday. And so for Monday's schedule, that's a half-day schedule. And buses will be running for that half day. As long as you're registered for a bus, your student can jump on the bus and come to school for that orientation for that half day. One question came up about lunches. Lunches are not served at the orientation because we don't serve lunch when we do any half day schedules. So there will not be lunch on the orientation day. So what you can expect from the orientation, I know we've got our 6th grade orientation, our 9th grade orientation, but we also invited other new families to AMSA. You'll be meeting the majority of your teachers that day, getting a lot of information from them. I think another email actually was just sent out from the 6th grade team. So check that out as well. A tour of the school, some icebreakers, really a chance for the students and the teachers to get to know each other on that first day of school, or that first orientation day. School uniforms are required for orientation as that's considered a school day. Another question, this is just a really broad theme that kept coming up about just general questions about what does the lower school students experience? What's the student life like for the lower school students? So just welcoming, supportive and encouraging. We know our students are coming from all of our surrounding communities and kind of blending all together here at AMSA. So it's a new experience for everybody. Questions in terms of workload was coming up. The 6th grade teachers really work with everybody to get everyone on the same page, to take it slow, to really go through the transition, the expectations, and how things will progress through the year. So they take their time with that. They really set the tone and the expectations of what will happen with the 6th graders. A few parents submitted questions about the lunch and when lunch was provided. We offer 3 lunches a day, and that's every day we have 3 lunches. The way it works in the lower school, first lunch is always for grade 6. That's 11:11 to 11:33. The second lunch is always grade 7. The times are there. And then the third lunch is always grade 8. So it always works in that way. Again, lunch is not provided on the half school days because we dismiss at 11:07. Question that came up on the clubs, a parent wanted just some general information about clubs and how can they find out that information. Once the school year gets going, the clubs get up and running. We've got club advisors that come in. We promote all of that, I believe, on the website, and information is sent home to you. So once all the clubs are set up and organized, then we start getting the students involved in that. So it takes about a week or 2 to get the clubs actually up and running once the school year starts. And then lastly is directed study. Every child in the lower school has a directed study, And that's a time where students have a 45-minute block with the teacher to get themselves organized, to work on homework, or even a chance to meet with teachers for extra help, or if they have any makeup assignments they need to do. So it is a organized study hall period where they're really working. They could be working one-on-one with the teacher. They could, again, have an opportunity to make up a test. Maybe they were absent a day. They needed to go make up a test in their English class or in their math classroom. So that's what the directed study is used for. And the teacher in that room really monitors, helps them out. Again, uses that time for some organizational skills as well. This is just a sample of a 7th grade student schedule. Again, this is just for 7th grade. This was just taken right out of our handbook, and it can seem a little bit confusing. And I think what happens when the students get back, when they get into the school year, their teachers will really go over how the schedule works. You'll see there's an 8-day rotating schedule, and some classes meet every day, where some classes meet every other day. So if you take a look, for example, at day 1, those are odd classes that are meeting. Day 2, those are even classes that are meeting. And you can see there, it is a little challenging to follow along with. But again, some classes will meet every day, depending on the type of course. If it's a math class, that one would meet every day. Or if it's more of a special, then those would meet every other day. And every student schedule, they will go over all of this with their 6th grade teachers when they arrive at AMSA, and they'll have plenty of chance to practice this all. So again, back on the student schedules, students, their first day of school, when they get to their computer science class, they have an opportunity to activate their Plus Portals account and their Google Classroom account on that first day of school. So they'll get walked through all of that with the computer science teacher. Parents received an email last week being able to activate their Plus Portals account information. So just check back in your emails. I know there's been a lot of information sent out, but there is an activation link there where you can view your child's schedule ahead of time. Bus transportation, an email actually was just sent out earlier today or a couple hours ago from our operations manager, Lynn McCluskey. She explained the bus shortage that's happening around the state of Massachusetts with bus drivers. We do have some buses that are locked down. We are at max capacity with our buses, but you'll see all of this in that email, as well as there's information here on how to do this from Plus Portals. It's all released. You can see the routes, and that's all sent out to you now. And just go ahead and check your emails. That was sent about around, I think around 3 o'clock today. I think, Mike, you were going to pick up here.
Yes, thank you. All right, so I'll jump right in. And again, just to remind everybody, we put together these slides just based on all the questions that came in, and as Amanda said, just put together some of the common themes. So hopefully we're getting to the vast majority of you who had questions, and those of you who didn't submit, hopefully this is beneficial to you. So drop off and pickup time. This popped up quite a bit. So on every school day, campus opens up to the cars. If you're driving your child to school or someone else is driving your child to school, campus opens up to the car traffic at 7:25 a.m. We recently hired a traffic officer who will be out on Forest Street, right outside the main entrance of the school. You'll see that person out there. I think his name's Dan Ferguson. You'll see Dan out there each morning waving cars on. He has a tough gig. It's not easy out there, but once you go through the pattern, I would say you'll have a nice light run of this on orientation day if you are driving your child in, and you'll kind of get a feel for the flow without all of the other students being in attendance that day and all the other families. So it'll be a nice light trial run for you. So 7:25 a.m. is the key time to open up the campus. Dismissal time. So students scheduling wise, 2:45 p.m. is dismissal time. Last period concludes at 2:45. The students actually have 10 minutes to load up on the school buses if they are taking the bus. All the teachers and staff members who have dismissal coverage and posts outside, they have time to get settled into their spots. And then after 10 minutes, 2:55 p.m., the buses are released. And then that's when the cars will come in. I think there was one question, or maybe a few more, that asked about, I guess it was just they were looking for advice on when should they arrive if they're picking their child up, and and should they get there early. Now, we avoid having traffic stack up on Forest Street. Some families in the past would come and they would line all the way from our main entrance, like past the bridge over 495. The city of Marlboro does not like that. Just the standard traffic, people driving by do not like that. And we've been in many discussions with the Marlboro Police Department about this. So your best bet is just to plan to arrive at 2:55. And you will see it's quite a smooth process. By 3:10 p.m., maybe even a little earlier, 3:08 usually is kind of the average. Dismissals, 99% concluded. There might be some students who just have rides that are running a little bit late. So if you show up right at 2:55, trust me, you're not going to get stuck. It's very, we've been doing this for many years now. It's going to look a little different when you come on campus the first time. It will. You're going to see a lot of staff members in the traffic vests, and you're going to wonder what kind of operation this is. But I promise you, we've studied this over the years. I've been a part of many different crews that have looked into this on campus, and it will flow smoothly. So 2:55 is when cars will be allowed on campus, and the traffic pattern will be sent out. We're sending out a specific email with some aerial views of our campus map that Mr. Mike Finkel, who's actually out there somewhere on this call, he's ready to put together an email soon, which will explain the traffic route around campus. Supplies, many questions about supplies. So agenda books and planners, this popped up quite a bit. There will be more communication about this from the grade level teachers at the beginning of the year. We do have some options that we're potentially looking into, but Amanda, myself, probably more so Amanda, I believe she'll be speaking to the class advisors, the class coordinators for each grade level, to understand where they'd like to go with the agenda books and the planners. What we've done in the past is we've purchased a bunch of planners, and we've sold them to the students for, I believe, either $5 or $10. And those ones that we purchase, we've had some families in the past that have actually helped us and our teachers as well. They've collaborated together to create customized planners that fit our school schedule. As Amanda showed you in that graphic, our school schedule is quite unique. So there aren't many planners out there that match exactly what AMSA's middle school students partake in each day. So there are customizations out there. I think that we are just going to, within the next few days, we're going to decide on how to proceed there. For now, I would just suggest having, we're going to be using Google Classroom. You'll notice that right away. And I think I have a slide on that later. Students will have access online through Plus portals and through Google Classroom to get an idea of to help. It's a massive organizational tool as well as many other things. But planners, just stay tuned, I guess, is the to make a long story short. We are looking into it. Supply lists are posted. We have a 6th grade and 7th grade supply list. Mr. Finkel, I know, has sent out some reminder emails. And knowing Mr. Finkel, he's probably going to post the link to the 6th and 7th grade supply list on this chat as I speak, because he's great like that. There is no 8th grade supply list. I received many questions directly through email, and I believe maybe a question popped up for the forum. I know we don't have many new 8th graders, but if there are any 8th grade families out there listening, we don't have an 8th grade supply list because there are so many different teachers in that grade. It was very difficult to manage and organize a supply list for that grade. Homework club, several questions came up about that. So homework club is an after school club that will start at 3 p.m. and it would run at a maximum till 6 p.m. It is supervised by Miss Audrey Cook. Mentioned here in the last bullet, Miss Cook is a history teacher here at AMSA. She's been here for several years. She's amazing in what she does during the school hours, and then after school, the homework club. She runs it. She runs a tight ship. Then the students also I know that they have a lot of fun with her. They really, really respect her, and she's a great supervisor for this group. She is not a tutor, like a one-to-one tutor that will individually tutor the students. As I mentioned, she's a history teacher here at the school. She's there to supervise, keep students on task, help with organization, and just kind of get the students who are there after school, just get themselves together, get their materials together, make sure that they know what they need to do for homework. She does a really, really nice job. There were some questions about the cost. I did check in to clarify these numbers, so hopefully these examples make sense. Everything's the whole system is broken up into 2 semesters. So if your child were to attend homework club 1 day per week, let's say for just the first semester of the school year, it would be $103 total for 1 day per week for 1 semester. If your student went 2 times per week for a semester, it would be $206, and then you can do the math out. 3 times a week for a semester, $309. And if you maxed everything out for the entire school year, both semesters, you would have $515 for a cost per semester. So in total, $1,030 if you would plan on sending your child to homework club every day for the entire school year. Any specific questions, you can email Audrey Cook. I don't have her email here right now, but it's acook@amsacs.org. You can go on our website as well and easily find her email information. Uniforms, many questions about uniforms. We do know that there are back orders, a tremendous amount of back orders right now. So if you're out there and you're nervous, you do not have to be. We're encouraging families in those situations to purchase plain navy blue polo shirts. Many options out there. So we know that Land's End, that has the AMSA logo, they're back ordered. Some families are not going to receive their clothing until late September, and I've heard that some are going into very early October, September and October area. So please don't be concerned about that. Please try and find a plain navy blue polo. You can find them at any vendor. If you need any support or help with that, we're here for you. We can send you links on some polos that students have bought, that they've purchased in the past. We can take care of it for you and send you some information if you need it. And then khaki pants, as stated on our uniform policy, they can be purchased from any vendor. So we're just looking for students on their academic days where they do not have phys ed to wear khaki pants and any plain navy blue polo. For phys ed, there are like dry fit. You probably can't tell, I don't know, because I'm sharing my screen right now. I have a AMSA polo shirt on right now. That's it's a dry fit material. Any sort of dry fit material that, Nike makes those, and other brands have some sort of material that's a little bit lighter, a little bit more flexible, that would be more suitable for phys ed. If you're having trouble purchasing the Land's End physical education polo, please try and look for some dry fit material or something along those lines. And again, we can help you out. Email the school and we'll send you some links to some attire. There was a question about phys ed attire in general. If a student has phys ed at our school, we do not have locker rooms for students to change into during the day. So if you have phys ed on your schedule as a student, you would wear your phys ed top, your phys ed shirt, and the pants would be either like a sweatpant material or mesh shorts, like basketball shorts that are navy blue in color. They would wear that for the day. On days where you do not have physical education, that's the day where the students would wear khaki pants with the polo shirt. There was a question about backpacks. 6th and 7th graders can bring backpacks to school. They can bring on the bus with them in their car. But when they get into the buildings, the traditional backpack would be stored inside their locker for the day. We encourage students to use drawstring, tote bag type of backpacks during the day if they wish to carry their books around in a bag. The reason for that, our hallways are quite narrow. When students wear backpacks, they tend to load them up, especially the middle schoolers. They like to load up with 7, 8, 9 textbooks, throw it all in there, keep it on their back, and the hallways get jam-packed. Everybody's bumping into each other. We dealt with this years and years and years ago, so we came up with this policy for 6th and 7th graders that if you're going to bring a backpack to school, it has to go straight into the locker. I believe that covers most of that. School safety, several questions about school safety. We have a bullying policy. I won't go super in depth about this, but there were definitely 1 or 2 questions about bullying and how we handle that. It is not tolerated at our school. We have a thorough investigation process that aligns with the state of Massachusetts expectations and their regulations. We have 2 deans of students at our school. We have a dean of students for the upper school grades 9 through 12, and we have a dean of students for grades 6 through 8. So the bullying reporting process, we have a bullying report form that's on our website that's accessible at any time to any student or parent. We have those forms available at the front desk of each building as well, if a student requests it, or a parent, or even a staff member. We have a whole system in place. We actually just trained our staff. We have to train our staff yearly on the definition of bullying and how to report bullying if they witness it at our school as a staff member. And our deans of students we meet with every grade level. Every student will take part in a grade level meeting at the beginning of the school year. Within the first few days of school, they'll be called down to the cafeteria, and our deans will go over bullying with them as well. It's not tolerated at our school. We conduct investigations. There's a very strict process for that, and whatever necessary consequences there are, we handle it in whatever appropriate fashion, depending on the circumstances of any such events. So we do have a strong policy in place. You can look on our website for more bullying information. We have I don't know how many pages it is now, but we have a bullying prevention and intervention plan that outlines much more in depth than where I'm going right now. You can access that through the website and view our bullying prevention and intervention plan and learn about how the school trains our staff and what sorts of programs we have in place and how we discuss these situations with our students as well. All that information is in there and available for you to view at any time. ALICE, it says here ALICE, is a training that we have for active shooter training or active threats on campus. A question did pop up about that. That's a training that's actually conducted by either one of our deans of students, Anthony Montesian, who is the dean of students. He is the dean of students for the lower school. We also work in conjunction with the Marlborough Police Department, and they have a liaison that will traditionally come by each year, and they will train all new students on ALICE. ALICE is an acronym that stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And it's a flexible system where the staff is also trained in this, of course, and depending on the scenario, you adjust to whatever announcement or whatever information that we have. So, for example, there may be an announcement over the loudspeaker or information that's spread throughout the school of some sort of threat. We're all trained on when we would evacuate, the E portion of this acronym. If we found out there was a threat that was far away from across campus, and we were on the complete opposite side, and I'm a teacher and I have a classroom full of students, and we know that there's something going on the other side of campus, they make the decision to evacuate and flee and run. Literally, the police tell us to run off campus, bring your students out to a safe spot and find help. We have a whole system in place, just so everyone knows. Again, we work in conjunction with the Marlborough Police Department in depth on this, and we have run drills in the past, and I do believe that at some point this year, we will plan on running another ALICE drill where the police department will come on campus and help us out with that as well. Campus safety in general, there's a question about the doors, just the entrances to our buildings. They are locked during non-transition time. So there is a 5-minute transition between, 4-minute transition between each class period. We have upper school students, grades 8 through 12. So grade 8 is lower school. And then we have the upper school students. They do transition between buildings quite a bit. So during that time, those doors are left open. But during operating, when class is in session, the door is locked and only the staff members have a unique code to get into the buildings during the school day. So if a parent comes to visit, you have to buzz in. Any other visitors, someone coming to drop off a delivery, they have to buzz in. And the front, there are cameras right there on those doors. So anyone who's coming to visit, the front desk receptionist has a clear view of who's trying to come in. So we do have that in place for sure. We're constantly looking at our school safety and making any necessary adjustments. There was a question about lower school students and when they transition over to 4 kicks for phys ed. So the 6th and 7th graders actually will leave the building at least every other day at one point for a class, because they'll transition over to 4 kicks for phys ed. They will meet with their teacher outside of room 110, which is located in the lower school, and they'll transition over with their phys ed teacher. And this will be covered at orientation and definitely in the first few days of school. The phys ed teachers will work with your students to show them exactly where to meet and how the transition over to 4 kicks will work. It's a smooth process. It's been in place for many, many years. Upper school students, they transition over themselves to 4 kicks when they have phys ed. In our COVID protocols, some questions popped up about this, of course. So we will have seating charts in our classrooms for contact tracing purposes. Right now, the state's saying that a close contact is considered to be someone who's within 3 feet of distance from someone else who contracts COVID for a duration of 15 minutes or more. Everything will flow through our nurse's office. They will be the ones to get in touch with you. They will be the ones that conduct testing on site. We have the Binex Now testing that our nurses are utilizing. So just keep in mind, everything flows through the nurse's office, and then they communicate with the administration if there's some sort of situation going on that we need to adjust to. Keep in mind, there are no social distancing protocols in place as set by the state. So in the classrooms, last year we had students at 6-foot distancing, 3-foot distancing. That does not apply. During lunchtime, students will be able to eat without their masks on, of course, and we'll have lunch running, as we normally would at this point. We're following, at this point in time, we always have and we always will follow all the state requirements for quarantine and any other guidance, any other requirements or regulations that they come up with as the year goes on. Because as I'm sure most of you have seen, things change quite a bit at the Department of Education level and with the state of Massachusetts in general. We're ready to adjust. We're quite flexible, along with every other school that's had to deal with this over the last year and a half or so. We've discussed. Yeah.
Could you just talk a little bit about the 6th graders and splitting them up and that they'll be going over to 4 kicks and they'll be separated?
Yeah, for 6th grade lunch, due to the fact that I think we may only have 1 or 2 6th graders who are even 12 years old at this point. We are going to be eligible for the vaccination. We are going to be splitting up 6th grade lunches only. Sorry, thanks, Alan. We are utilizing 1 floor over at 4 kicks, which is they have a 2nd floor area. It's a very spacious upper 2nd floor that they have, where we'll put tables out. And so we'll be splitting some students over there in the 6th grade for lunch, and then spacing the students out over in the lower school cafeteria for lunch as well. And that has to do with, again, the vaccination piece and the fact that they are not vaccinated. So with 7th graders and beyond who are 12 years old and above, we are sticking with our traditional lunch procedures as we have in the past. Zoom opportunities for quarantine students. So There may be situations, I hope that this doesn't happen, but if we have a student who contracts COVID, the state has advised schools that we do have the opportunity to offer students and their families the opportunity to Zoom into class if they test positive for COVID. Therefore, they have to quarantine for 10 days. And if they're feeling healthy enough, well enough to attend and listen in on class. Our plan right now is to simply have a student in this situation, if they are willing, if they're able to and willing to, they will Zoom into class. The teacher will send them a link while they are at home and they cannot physically be on campus. And they would simply be listening to their class. Schools have to decide between this option, which we think right now is the better option of the two. We're deciding on this option. The other option would be to send home, have teachers put together packets full of work and just send it home to the student with no, they're not going to hear their teacher's voice. They're not going to hear any of the instruction. They just be sent out kind of on their own island to fill out these packets. So at this point in time, we think that the Zoom opportunity, if you will, is the best option. Of course, like I said, we may adjust. We'll see how it goes. If there's another option that pops up that's more appealing, then we'll try it out for sure. But that's our plan for now. There were questions about mask breaks for the lower school students. We will not have any designated scheduled times on their actual student schedules for mask breaks. However, Ellen spoke to the staff this morning in our welcome back. It was the first day back for our entire staff. We are encouraging our lower school teachers to probably during directed study time, especially, to take their students outside for a quick, 2 to 5 minute break, even longer. If the weather's nice and they had the appropriate equipment out there for students to get some work done, they could even have, a full-on class out there and stay out there for 20 minutes or 45 minutes for the full period. Depends on the circumstances, but we are encouraging our lower school teaching staff to use their discretion and bring students outside. We also have outdoor tents that we'll have set up outside on the wood chip area, right outside of the rear entrance of the lower school. So that's another opportunity. If it's drizzling out a little bit, raining out a little bit, but the temperature is okay, teachers will be able to bring their students out there as well. And just a reminder that outdoors, when students are outside, they do not have to wear masks. So our upper school students have a natural mask break during their transition times. Like I said, vast majority of them are going between buildings. For that 4-minute transition time, they'll be able to just take their mask off. Lower school students, they're not going to be outside as much during the day. So that's why we're encouraging the teachers. And I truly believe, I'm confident that our teachers will, for their own sake as well, we'll go outside and give the students some mask breaks. And again, we'll see how this goes. If we need to make adjustments, we will, but this is our plan for now. Another question came in about our air filtration system. Right now, we are, everything is set to state standards. We have air purifiers and as well in every single classroom, every single common area in our school. They're pretty high. They're very high quality air purifiers, I must say. It picks up on movement and volume. And in my office, if someone comes in, it's like it magically notices and it picks up a little bit of steam and blows out more air. It's quite amazing. So we have those all over campus. We are in compliance right now with the state standards. So a couple of questions came in about that, and I wanted to clarify there. And I may be wrong, but I think, that is the last slide.
Mike,
I hope that covered almost everything that was brought up. I have not looked at the chat at all. So if
I'm sorry, Mike. I saw there was one question about types of masks. Ellen, maybe you know this one better than I do. I don't think that there was any specific requirement as for type of mask other than the need to cover the mouth and the nose.
Right. So we did receive updated information from the Department of Education today. And exactly, as long as they fit properly, there's nothing special. It's whatever, is working best for your student and what you feel comfortable having your student wearing. It is important that they wear those masks on the bus. That's a federal regulation. I mentioned that in an email I sent home last week. So just make sure that they've got their masks on, they wear them on the bus, they're wearing them in class. We'll try to get them out as often as we can. I agree with Mike, the teachers will certainly want to do that. The lunch details, I did speak to the Dean of Students, Anthony Montesian, who is the Dean for the lower school. We were talking this afternoon, he's got a whole plan worked out on how the lunches are going to be working and how they're going to split, and kids bringing lunch. There is going to be some extra time. There was a question in the chat asking about, are the kids going to have enough time to go over to 4 Kicks? They will be released at the warning bell so that they have some extra time to walk across there. And they've got a whole system, and they'll work the kids through and train them on how that's going to work. The other thing is, Mike mentioned the tents. We will be putting up those 2 tents. They're going to be used for chorus. We have a chorus class in the high school. We have an a cappella group that meets after school. They'll be used for the jazz band to practice in the afternoon as well. We did find that they're not always practical. We learned a lot in the spring, but they're not always practical because of the weather. The wind and the rain and all of that can make those tents really tough to use. And so although I know that you might feel that it's better for the kids to be eating outside, we will have them very separated in the cafeteria. That the kids who are buying lunch and are going to be there in the cafeteria. Typically, the kids who bring their own lunch will be transitioned over to 4 Kicks. It's a big, huge space, and the ventilation in 4 Kicks is well beyond anything that we would need to provide. We looked into all of that last school year. So 4 Kicks is a great facility, and it's a good place. And there'll be adult supervision over there as well. So, and we use that for the high school, all the high school kids through the whole spring, and it worked out really well. There's lots of questions still, I know, in the chat, but can they bring water, Mike? There's one.
Yes, you can bring water.
Yes, they can bring water. And then I'm looking at another question about, talk to Lynn McCluskey about the busing. There are definitely bus restrictions. I've been working myself with Lynn, with Marlborough School District, and with the bus company. They're not going to be able to have a lot of different special plans for each kid, so each student. So please look into that. The buses typically on a regular school year, the buses, we have 10. This year we only have 8. So, and that's because Marlborough barely has what they need to get their kids to school. So the busing, as was mentioned earlier, is very, very complicated this year. They don't have as many bus drivers as we really need. And they have people that are getting CDL licenses and being trained, but those people won't be in place until mid-October. Take a look at the email that Lynn McCluskey sent you earlier today, and I think you'll understand what's going on there. If you're a parent who is flexible about driving your student to school in the morning, you might want to consider it. A lot of our kids are involved in after-school sports and after-school clubs once the year gets kicked off. Those buses are going to be very busy in the morning. They're going to be packed. In the afternoon, not as much. But if you're really concerned about buses, the windows will be open as well. But if you're concerned, as a parent, you might want to consider dropping your child off if you can.
Yep. Alan, a question just came in about enrollment, kind of class sizes and enrollment. Just real quick, the maximum amount of students per class in a classroom is 26 students. That's set by our teachers' union contract. Except for some special courses like chorus, for example, I believe can have 40 students, and phys ed class can have up to 30 students just due to the spacing over there. 4 Kicks, plenty of room. But for your traditional class, for the 99% of the classes, the maximum amount of students is 26. I would say on average for the lower school, class sizes are probably in the low 20s, 21, 22, 23 on average. And we have around 140 students per grade, give or take.
It's 131 sixth graders this year. And I do want you to keep in mind, I know that, students last spring had an option of staying on remote learning or coming back. But 97% of our sixth graders came into school in the spring. So those, we're able to handle 97% of them in those classrooms. And we had no spread within the program at all in the spring. So, you know, I think we're in a good place. We certainly are going to be very, very careful with the health of your children, the health of our adults who we love and appreciate very, very much, and don't want them to be sick, because once they're sick, they're not educating your children. So it's very important we keep our adults safe, we keep your children safe, and all of you safe. And so we will be monitoring that constantly, because it's, in order to educate everyone, we all need to stay healthy. So talk a little bit about the new ninth grade. There is a bus for the 30th for the orientation. Yes, there is. The orientation, Mike, can you talk a little bit about the orientation? Mark Vital is running that ninth grade orientation.
Yeah, Mark Vital, I believe, sent an email out a few weeks back with some of the general information regarding ninth grade orientation, but they'll be coming in August 30th, the same day as the sixth grade orientation, and the the seventh and eighth grade new students as well will be with the sixth graders to start off the day. Ninth grade has their own separate orientation. They'll be running different sets of workshops that will really focus on, you know, just high school preparation, coping with stress, adjusting to high school. Mr. Vital, who's been here for a long, long time, he has fully packed agenda of workshops that will all be run by the ninth grade teaching team. So he actually packed his agenda today. He was very excited about it. So the freshmen will actually have their, you know, the ninth grade teaching team, and they'll have options on where to go. They won't be able to go to every single workshop, but I believe they're running 2 separate 45-minute workshops where the students have a choice to choose a topic that they're interested in. It will be a good time. They're not going to be running through their schedule because of, you know, it's only a half day in general, but they will be focusing, like I said, more on the adjusting to high school, preparing for high school, and things of that nature. So many questions here. Maybe we can.
I think what we'll need to do is when we post this, we can post a Q&A with the items that are in the chat. The ninth grade, there was just one other quick question about the ninth grade suite. How many new ninth graders? Linda Edwards, our registrar, is also on the call, and she can tell you exactly how many new ninth graders we have coming in. Ninth grade is she says between 25 and 30. Ninth grade is another entry point. We really love the bulk of our kids to come in sixth grade, because we really want to have them from sixth all the way to 12th grade. So they really learn the AMPSA way, and they have all of the layering of their academics. But another entry point that we find is a popular time is this ninth grade class. And in previous years through middle school, they were a small class. They were about 125. And we wanted to bump that up to get the numbers up there a little bit more in the high school. So we've added quite a few there. So we will make sure that they get the orientation that they need to feel comfortable. So just know that I think my parting words to all of you is that most of us are parents. I'm a mom of 4 and a grandma to 6. And so we love kids. We know kids. We're going to do everything we can to help your kids to adjust to AMPSA. We are not, we are a high academic standard school, but we have a big heart. And we're going to make sure that your kids are going to be okay. And I promise you that we will do everything we can to keep them safe. I can't stress that enough. Might we get COVID in the school? Maybe. I don't know. It's an invisible thing. I don't know if we can keep it out, but we will do everything we can to keep your kids safe and all of our adults safe. I know there's a lot of concerns out there, but know that we can't wait for your kids to come. They need to be in school. They need to be together. They need to be socialized, and they need their academics. And we have a lot of work to do ahead of us. We want a team with you to be able to do that. We're really excited about the school year. It's wonderful. All the teachers came back today. It was fantastic to see everyone. And we're looking forward to having your kids and welcoming all of you into our family.